This is going to talk about. I'm going to talk about clearing the signals by coming off of carbohydrates and coffee and other stimulants like pre-workout, and if you're doing cocaine or something other than that as a stimulant, I would say a way to clear up your signals is to come off of all of that. And I wouldn't do like a slow wean off of that. You can if you want, but I would just all at once, just cold turkey, come off of that stuff. You will need to not a prerequisite, but a caveat is that you will need to take in additional salts because you get a lot of salts usually with your carbohydrates. That's just the way the stuff is processed in the U.S. And so you will probably need to take in more sodium. Anyway, that being said, what I experienced when I came off of carbohydrates and coffee was an amazing, almost an enlightenment, if you will. It was game-changing overnight. I naturally went back to reading more, learning more, being more interested in trying to find out why from every aspect of life. It was extremely important for me coming off of carbohydrates and coffee. The carbs, specific carbs have specific things for me. The reason I'm against sugars in general is because, for me specifically, maybe some people are fine with them, but different sugars give me different responses. My gut responds negatively to sugar. It makes me very angry, it makes me very agitated, it makes me upset, and it makes me, even if I'm not expressing that to other people, it makes me go down a track in my mind that is unhealthy and destructive, and it worries me, which if it worries me and you know me, then you know it should worry you. And anyway, all that to say, when I came off of sugar, which I don't eat a lot of sugar unless it's in something. So for instance, Fit Aid, they say that they don't have high fructose corn syrup and blah, blah, blah. They do have sugar and sugar substitutes in there. It tastes a certain way. It tastes sweet, which triggers a sympathetic response for me very heavily. I remember the last time I had a Fit Aid, months and months and months and months and months ago. My wife was doing something kind for me and she bought me a Fit Aid. She bought herself a Fit Aid. And I had it at work, and I was sitting there, and I had been off, I think I had been off all carbohydrates except for right before my workouts. And it was probably 8:30 in the morning, and I was like, you know what, I've got this Fit Aid. I'd love to drink it. So I took it, and I drank it, and as soon as it hit my gut, as soon as it got to my gut, which I look back at it, I'm like, geez, this is just ridiculous, the effect it has. As soon as my gut started feeling that, and the Prevotilla in my gut flora started reacting to the Fit Aid and the sugar in the Fit Aid, I started down a track in my mind that had me so aggressively violent in my mind toward people that had wronged me in the near past. And, to the place where I'm thinking horrible thoughts like, if that person ever talks to me again, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and they're going to feel this way, and it's going to be this way, and just going off on this thing. Thoughts I hadn't had for months. And, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what is happening? It went down this track for probably half an hour. Just in my head, I was just working by myself, so I wasn't taking it out on anybody else, but it was taking it out on myself. And I picked my head up, I'm like, what is happening? And realized that it was the sugar in the Fit Aid and whatever else they put in the Fit Aid that was affecting me in that way. It went from 0 to 60 in no time, and I'm just like, what is going on? Never again. So I stopped drinking things like Fit Aid, like, sugary drinks. The only drinks that I'll drink now that are sweetish in taste, are Spindrift, because their sugar content is super low. And the ones that actually give me more of a sympathetic reaction are not the grapefruit or the lemon. It's the raspberry lime thing, because those are a little sweeter from the raspberries. The grapefruit's a little more sour, which is great, and the lemon is a little more sour, which is great. Anyway, Spindrifts are awesome, but as far as, like sugary workout drinks and stuff, I don't do that. All that to say, coming off coffee was also a big clearer of signals for me. I've been drinking coffee for the last 25 years, something in there. I started when I was a kid, and nobody really cared, and I grew up and I drank more and more coffee. And what I realized was, as stress increased in my life, I just added more coffee into my life. Carbohydrates, I snack on, or I used to snack on crackers and stuff like that, and eat, every once in a while I would just crush a bag of Doritos or something like that. But I wasn't really a fan of bread. I wasn't really a fan of noodles anymore. It just didn't sit well in my stomach. I just felt bloated after I was done. So I didn't really eat those even before the StrongFit protocol. This is all StrongFit suggestions, all StrongFit stuff. Anyway, even before then, I didn't really eat those. I wasn't really into that. We would have, noodles, but there would be, my wife obviously is very health conscious as well. She has a different path and a different journey that she's taking, but noodles didn't fit either of our things, and bread usually didn't fit either of our things. She would make bread for dinners with other people and stuff, but I wasn't required to eat that because, well, I'm not a little kid anymore and I can do what I want. But all that to say that I had minimized the amount of carbohydrates I was taking in on StrongFit's suggestion, Julian's suggestion, where I was taking in 1 or 2 little fruit leathers from Costco before a workout, and that would ramp me up enough, and I'd have a pretty aggressive workout, and it was great. And then I would have maybe a Spindrift during the workout or something to just keep the energy up. So my carbohydrate intake was fairly low as it was, but I was still drinking probably 32 ounces of coffee a day. Sounds a little high, 24 maybe. It was somewhere in between there. Tons of coffee. Early in the morning would ramp me up and get me going and have me running the rest of the day, which I didn't realize it was going to affect me, or it was affecting me for however long. Anyway, when I came off of it, I was able to clear a lot of the noise in my head just by coming off coffee. And when I came off carbohydrates, it helped that even more. And taking in saturated and unsaturated fats helped me to be clearer during the day, and to want to explore knowledge and learn in every area possible. And it helped me look at myself a little bit better. It helped me pay attention to what was going on there, and it really, really helped me solidify some things that I had been questioning about, and it just made me calmer. It made me able to listen a little bit more calmly when someone was saying something that I didn't agree with to me. I could sit there and I could listen to it and process it and come up with an appropriate response. Just a lot of the stuff it's just a simple fix. Just stop feeding your anxieties. Stop feeding your nervous system the stuff it doesn't need. Feed it what it needs, and eventually it will work with you. It will help you out. But for me, clearing up those signals, it was just a huge game changer, just a huge difference. For me, I had been on pistachios. I'd been eating pistachios early on in the protocol, and not realizing that those had such a high carbohydrate content to them. And they helped me because they were fewer carbohydrates than I had been taking in previously. So it did help for a while, but then I noticed that my gut started to hurt when I would take in pistachios. again, I was eating a cup of those a day, but that was all I was eating for the day. So that was what I was going off of. It was making me feel sluggish, making me drag a little bit. But it was really, anyway, so I came off of those and I switched over to avocado and salad, and that was a game changer again for me. Which I'm going to head back to that, do something similar to that. Not with the spinach, but just with the avocados and the feta cheese and the Kalamata olives. I think that's going to work really well. And my body's ready for that. I've noticed that so coming back to clearing the signals by going off of carbohydrate and coffee and stimulants in general, when I went back on this yogurt, I did notice that my hunger for learning and my hunger for doing work, the ease that I was able to do work at home on the weekends and get off my butt and do stuff, go out for a walk, go out for, whatever it was, that started to disappear again. It's not totally gone, and I can still feel it there, because on the weekends I like to fast to clear me up. And anyway, and so what I found is that going back on carbohydrates has dimmed the signals a little bit, and it has made me not as sharp and not as aware internally and externally. And so that's really the biggest reason why I'm not noticing a lot of, I am noticing some effect on my sleep, but not a huge effect on my sleep. It is not helping me to sleep as much as I would like. I am burning off a lot of those carbohydrates that I'm taking in at lunchtime during my workout, but I really don't appreciate people putting sugar in stuff that they don't need to put sugar in. Anyway, all that to say that if you come off the carbohydrates, if you come off the stimulants, your sleep will instantly get better. That's just the way it is. It works like that because what you don't realize is that stuff is having a low-grade effect on you all the time. If you are utilizing those carbs during your workout and you're taking in just enough to actually fuel your workout, and that's something you want to do, and you don't really want to commit to coming off carbohydrate, awesome, then do that. But make sure you're not taking in too many carbohydrates, because if you do, they will stay in your body, and they will do whatever to muddy the signals. We're not going to get into the discussion of needing glycogen and only getting glycogen from carbohydrates. Your body's an amazing unit, and it can derive what it needs to from fat as well, which is why a lot of cultures have survived on fat and protein only for a long period of time, until Western diet came along and ruined their cultures as well. Anyway, all that to say, coming off the carbs, coming off the stimulants, coming off coffee, coming off all that stuff, it will clear up your signals. It will make everything better. It will make you calmer. It'll make you less anxious. It will take away a lot of the irrational fears. And you may just feel better. You may just feel clearer. You may just feel cleaner. I know I have. Again, all the credit goes to StrongFit and Julian, Tyler, Richard, all those people that have, those guys are the ones that have pioneered this stuff and put these pieces together and shared them with the world. Love it. So thankful. You guys saved my life, turned it around, made it so much better. I appreciate that so much, and I am indebted forever to you guys. Eventually I'll make it over to Europe, and we'll do this thing, and I'll do Coaches Week and the seminar and all that, and the mentoring program and whatever. Hopefully this YouTube channel will become popular enough that it'll actually help pay for that, and it'll be great. Anyway, all that to say, deeply grateful for all the work that Julian has done and all of the stuff that he is pioneering, it never ceases to amaze me, the connections and the links that he has made, and how life-changing all of that has been for me and lots of other people. Anyway, put your comments below. Tell me what you guys want to see more of, and I will do my best to accommodate you. Yeah, thanks for watching.